Another example is in John chapter 6, where Jesus feeds 5,000 people with just 5 loaves and 2 fish. A boy brought the little he had, something seemingly insufficient to meet the crowd's needs. Yet in Jesus' hands, that small act of generosity was multiplied and everyone was fed. This miracle demonstrates that even when our contributions seem insignificant, God can use them to achieve great things. In daily life, it is easy to undervalue small moments or actions we consider trivial. We may think that only grand achievements or extraordinary events matter. However, the Bible shows us that God works in all things, big and small, to accomplish His purposes. Just as the mustard seed and the yeast, everyday events are pieces of a larger puzzle that only God can see in full. This perspective invites us to value the details of our journey. Every conversation, every decision, and even moments of waiting or silence can be used by God to shape our character, strengthen our faith, and guide us toward fulfilling His purpose. When we trust that He is in control, we learn to see even the smallest events as opportunities to grow and glorify Him. These teachings of Jesus remind us that the kingdom of God is not built solely on great deeds, but also on small acts of love, faith, and obedience. The things we often consider insignificant are in fact fundamental to the divine plan. Just as a small seed can grow into a tree and a little yeast can transform an entire batch of dough, the small things in our lives can have an eternal impact. With this understanding, we can look at our own lives and ask, what have we been overlooking or undervaluing that might be an important part of God's plan? Perhaps it's our daily interactions with others, our small decisions of integrity, or even moments of difficulty that we face with patience and faith. All of this, no matter how insignificant it may seem, is being used by God to fulfill His purpose. One of the most common questions in anyone's life, especially during times of pain, is, why does God allow me to suffer? This question arises in moments of loss, illness, financial hardship, or even emotional and spiritual struggles. At first glance, suffering seems incompatible with the idea of a loving and caring God. However, as we look at the teachings of Jesus and the Scriptures, we understand that suffering is not a sign of divine abandonment, but often a means through which God fulfills His purposes in our lives.